Team Nor-Ive. I'm Clark, and today we're going to elaborate on what we reviewed last episode on climate change. Climate change is real. If Earth is too hot, we might reach the point of no return, losing all hope. We're the last generation that has the opportunity to avoid climate change. Future generations will be living within a dystopia if we fail to uphold our moral and historical duty. Climate change refers to a significant shift in the Earth's weather patterns due to an increased amount of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere from human activity. This is obviously problematic because weather affects living conditions for everyone. In recent years, however, climate change has ignited intense debate at the federal level. Several prominent senators have described climate change as the greatest hoax, created in order to control the individual. Thus, this begs the question of what the government should do. If one truly delves into this topic, the answer is blatant. It is the obligation of the United States government to address climate change immediately to improve the life of all and avert future disasters that would bring the world to its knees. Renowned national organizations and scientists have validated the science behind global warming. In an article explaining the relevance of climate change, Laura Gagel, Live Science senior writer, shares the World Meteorological Organization scientists are using high-powered computing tools and long-term climate data to determine the cause of this unprecedented change. Tracking this data has allowed scientists to witness drastic increases in temperatures coinciding with extremely high levels of carbon dioxide across the globe. According to the WMO, these trends are continuing into 2017. Gagel adds that globally there is 1.5 square miles of sea ice melting and warming ocean temperatures that induce mortality of vegetation and sea life. This presents a serious threat to human health. In her information regarding current climate change, Upfront reporter Patricia Smith states that Bangladesh is experiencing a biblical shift in sea level rise that is 10 times faster than the global average, and that millions of individuals are being forced to leave coastal areas due to the sea level increase. This paints a picture of the scale for current climate change. For example, Laura Gagel addresses earlier this year, the United States broke over 11,700 warm temperature records. Some temperatures surpass 5 degrees higher than previous records. So why should we care? Well, it affects the way we live. The data speaks for itself. The Earth is definitely warming. This shows how climate change ravages individuals' lives, which puts them at risk for existence. The other concern is funding. Some government officials are reluctant to pass laws because they fear it wouldn't find success. However, if they took advice from economists, these measures could find success. In his 4 ways to address climate change now, Keith Kozloff, with governing the states and localities, argues that incorporating carbon pricing, due to the fact that carbon dioxide is the primary greenhouse gas warming the Earth, will provide individuals with a better understanding of the cost of carbon creates environmentally, which allows the consumer to know whether it's worth investing in. Kozloff also strongly supports including climate risk analysis in designing public infrastructure, because it will permit sustainable architecture that will require less maintenance, thus saving money. A study completed by a Nobel Prize winning intergovernmental panel on climate change organized by the United Nations found carbon dioxide created from the emissions of vehicles and coal-burning power plants are accountable for approximately 33 times more added warming than non-man-made activity. Climate change is a real issue that needs to be addressed. The claim that change to coal will bolster our economy is the true hoax, given the fact that per the Department of Energy, there were 87,755 coal mining jobs in 2008 versus 65,971 jobs in 2015. Restoring coal industry jobs does not mean coal miners can expect to gain employment, given the fact the mines are not hiring people, but are using mechanization. Whereas wind industry now provides over 100,000 jobs, and the solar industry employs approximately 260,000 individuals. Trying to trick individuals into thinking something is economically beneficial at an individual level is simply unethical. Yet some will still argue that climate change policy is pointless. These people are clearly wrong because their claims are based on personal interest rather than science. It's not that these people are evil, they're just uninformed or refuse to accept reality. Many of these individuals are high-ranking, wealthy politicians who are involved due to the financial benefits for each other. It has been proposed by the Trump administration that the Environmental Protection Agency budget be cut to $5.6 billion, which is roughly a 30% cut. This supports new leadership efforts to overhaul the current EPA practice of utilizing scientific assessment in determining climate change regulations. Relevant information for establishing additional plans, like the data about methane emissions, has been rescinded. This shows the government's plans to dismiss relevant scientific information in creating policy. Newly appointed chief of the EPA, Scott Pruitt, does not support the EPA belief that carbon dioxide is the main contributor to global warming. His views are contradictory to top scientists, and his claims aren't based on a strong factual foundation. Pruitt is deviating from the EPA's mission to protect our air, water, and our communities. Aligned with Oklahoma Senator Inhofe, who strongly opposes climate change, Pruitt previously worked under this politician for several years. At least half a dozen of newly appointed high-ranking government officials previously worked as former aides for Senator Inhofe, supporting his beliefs. Many have personal and financial interest in creating policies for business clients rather than for the best interest of the public health and environment. This information clearly conveys that these individuals don't have the welfare of all Americans in mind. They are more self-driven. If the U.S. government is permitted to rule against climate change policy, it will further destroy sustainability of our environment. In conclusion, understanding climate change outcomes is the first step to ensure our future. If we start cutting back the EPA and dismissing the relevance to our environment, we will pay for it in the end. Climate change policy can be implemented at a price that is fiscally reasonable and grants flexibility. The EPA is a staunch defender of the climate. It was established in 1970 in order to adequately protect the environment for all United States citizens. Climate change is the EPA's current primary issue. It is real and needs to be attacked swiftly. This is a huge opportunity in the story of humanity. We have the ability to unite and usher in an era of progress, where we can continue our current path towards an impending doom that threatens to decimate everything humanity has accomplished. Remember to subscribe to see next month's edition.